Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought that we could do a overview look at what the heck happened for March and kind of talk to you guys about some of the changes that may or may not be happening for the coming months. And I say months because I don't know how long these changes will be, but yeah, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I absolutely love my bullet journal. I think that this has been a great switch from my rings, though I got some news earlier this month that kind of put me in a bind with whether or not I want to print out something and tape in here, like how I have the trackers in the back, or if I wanted to draw out additional spreads. I typically haven't set this little book up. This was supposed to be like my reference book and things like that. I have not touched it yet because I was on the fence with what I wanted to do with that, whether or not I wanted to make it a health and wellness journal or whether or not I wanted to actually use it for reference stuff. So I don't really know. Anyway, I found myself being extremely lazy with setting stuff up, and so I'm kind of toying with the idea of going back to my rings, but we'll see. I have another thing that I was thinking about too, because I don't know, I thought maybe if I just cut the real estate down, that would make maybe doing the spreads a little bit easier. So we'll talk about that. Let's look at March's monthly. March, I feel like let me pause this and fix my camera. All right, so I don't know, my camera looked a little bit crooked, so hopefully that's a little bit better. I'm also losing sunlight, so I'm gonna try to do this as fast as I can. So March's monthly ended up just being a typical monthly. It started out really strong where I had a lot of stuff going on, and then as the month kind of winds down, I'm finding that I'm just not as busy. There's not so much going on. I will have things coming up in the coming months, but they're a little further out. So as of right now, life is just really slow. One downside that I will say, for my monthly spreads is that I regret 100% drawing them out using a stencil. I wish that I would have just counted the boxes because this monthly is incredibly small and the 31st ends up being like up here versus down here. So in the future, I will just draw out the boxes versus using a stencil. But I took a very lazy approach to this because if you know, then you know, I hate setting up. I absolutely positively hate setting up the monthly. I think that is the only thing that draws me away from the whole bullet journal setup, is because that monthly overview to draw out and count out all those boxes is just the downside, and then to do the weeklies is also the downside, which is why I think people just kind of do a hybrid between using a monthly printable and just they sacrifice and just draw the weeks. But boy, so yeah, I ended up having a somewhat busy month. This was supposed to be for my fitness, so I got a Peloton bike back in January and I did really well. If we look in the back, I want to make sure I'm still in frame. I did incredibly well for the start of January whilst using my Peloton bike, but February I slacked a little bit, and then March, I don't know what the heck happened. I just kind of gave up completely. So yeah, and it really reflects because I was tracking it here and then I would go to the back and I would update it, and I can just see that that slacking off in February just kind of translated over to March. So yeah, to that. In terms of the weekly spreads, they have been not so busy. They've just been average. I started putting these little page flags at the start of every week. That just helps me know that there is a new week. Yeah, this was the first week of March. I started it on the 3rd, so I didn't exactly put the 1st and the 2nd in here, which was the last weeks of, I want to say, February. I didn't exactly put that week in here because I didn't want to, I didn't want to draw that out. So I started on a fresh week, which was the official first week of March. But I did put the 1st and 2nd daily task in here for March. So all of March will be in this book. So yeah, the weeks have just been kind of touch and go. I noticed that, like I said, at the beginning of the month, I was doing a lot of, just note taking, journaling, schedule based type planning, and that really, really does help. However, I found myself just kind of getting bored or tired of drawing this out. Even with this is also a little bit tiresome. I think that if I was setting my pages up the night before instead of the day of, maybe I could keep up with it, but I don't know. There's a simpler way to do it. You don't necessarily have to draw it this way. You can literally put some fucking numbers like down the side and that would work too. But I mean, if you want a clean approach to it, you can do it this way. But I don't know. I fell off. This month I really kind of just let things be. And I journaled a little bit. And I glued things in. Like, this picture just spoke to me. It's Garfield. And he's got a cup of coffee. And it's talking about how John has lost his identity and all this blase. And I'm just like, this is totally how I'm feeling right now at the moment. And then there's funny things in here. So I journaled. We do have a cat back home in Ohio at our grandparents' house. His name is Maui. And this, although he's not allowed on the furniture and stuff, like the tables, counters, things like that, this just looks like something he would totally do. It's just like knock something over and then look at it and then knock something else over. Like, this just looks like something he would definitely do. But yeah, I BS'd with this month. I dragged with this month. A lot of my tasks got kind of transferred over from each week. I put off stuff a lot this month. Yeah, and my daily pages, they stayed consistent. Like, the task stayed consistent, but I started to slack off in terms of like all the note taking. I'm just realizing that I don't need to write every little thing down, like every little thing I don't need to remember. And I don't always journal. So yeah, that, like, journaling and note taking are the things that take up the most space in my planners. But I'm just kind of just like, oh, it's whatever. Like, I do it, I don't. But I'm also realizing that maybe this A5 size is a little too big because I missing that smaller real estate. So much so that I looked into a B6 Slim, and I watched some of my older videos when I was doing bullet journal and a Nanami Cafe note. And I was just like, man, I love that. And then I also thought about maybe like a Hobonichi Weeks, not the books per se, but like the size. And I really, really like that smaller size, but I don't know. Lots of decisions. I have a lot of stuff in my own stash that I could play around with. But anyway, this is how the last couple of weeks looked. And then I want to say, was this week? No, this was last weekend. So last weekend, I gave up completely on Sunday. Like Sunday, it starts like down here and then it just transfers over to the bottom of this page because like I had like no desire to be in this book. I taped in this picture of the comfy couch. I absolutely loved this show when I was a kid, and when I was like 5, I watched this so much over my grandma's house, and yeah, it was like a little flashback to the early 90s, late 90s for me. Yeah, so this would start this week. So this week told myself I wanted to get back on track. I wanted to start doing stuff. And so I decided that with my horizontal week, I would split the week so that I had tasks on or events on one side and then like notes and just like to do type stuff on the other. And yeah, I find myself, again, I'm not utilizing a lot of the space. It is a lot, like I didn't even utilize like this ICD thing this week. I didn't really utilize it this week. A lot of the stuff over here got transferred. I like the idea of being able to dump things over here and then see where they are in terms of progress. But when I'm in this phase where I don't care to like sit down, like right now I still have to, this would start next week, and next week isn't set up. I gotta set that up. So I'm not saying that I don't like my bullet journal. What I'm saying is that I've been really tired. Well, earlier this month I had an appointment which kind of let me know why I was so tired. So yeah, we'll talk about that. But this is how this week basically started out. I ended up using a weekly routine tracker and a goal like task tracker. And essentially why I use, sticky notes are a great addition to your planners by themselves. Whether you're using a book bound like bullet journal, book bound just dated planner, or rings or whatever, they're great additions. Okay, whoever invented them knew what the heck that they were doing when they invented them, and especially when they invented the task-based sticky notes. I wanted to keep track of some things that I was doing without drawing a tracker. And so I remembered I had these weekly task sticky notes. And so I started tracking. I put on here a bunch of things that I wanted to track, and that somewhat worked out. Like I remembered at least to take the medication, but there were other things that I didn't do so well at, and I highlight the things that I didn't do so well at this in this tracker. So it just kind of lets me know where my attention is focused and where I'm slacking on like these things that I keep moving from week to week. This lets me know what that is. Sometimes, most of the times, when I have things that I keep putting off from week to week, I end up making a goal sticky note and I end up dating it, because it feels like if I put a date on it, that task then becomes more concrete and it pushes me a little bit harder to get that task done. So this week, I wanted to go through like my son's clothes and kind of like figure out what his sizes are right now, because he's in the process of needing to have new things, new clothes, new shoes, because he's growing. And so I needed to do that. I also needed to start this new book that that I'm trying to get through right now. I'm reading this book called The Road. Let me see. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen this. But right now I'm reading this book by Cormac McCarthy. It's called The Road. This is the book that my husband recommended to me, so I'm reading that book right now. And yeah, there was some stuff for like my book club that I wanted to get through with this week. So yeah, I mean, whenever there are things that I just continuously put off, I try to put them on a goal sticky note and make them concrete by slapping a date as to when I want to get this task done. But yeah, this is basically this week. A day, 2 days on one page, essentially. I just didn't take as many notes, and I didn't journal at all this week. Yeah, I just didn't do as much as I have been doing in previous weeks and months. I don't know. I just kind of just didn't care to do so. But that's how everything basically turned out for my bullet journal. Now, this is the month of March, and I do have, I have months in here up to August if I should stay in this book. Because like I said, and here's the thing, I'm going to say this as a disclaimer. I don't want someone to tell me that I got it all together or look at this as though I'm planner hopping per se. I'm literally bouncing between two things. What I started with this year, and I mean, not that it's a problem if you planner hop anyway, that's your prerogative if you do and if you don't. But, I'm not doing this for the likes of views, because I think that we associate planner hopping with hopping on trends, and this is not a trend. I'm not following a trend. I'm literally just trying to figure my life out. So don't worry. I'm not hopping on any trends. So anyway, I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, like I said, I'm just trying to figure life out. And I really don't want to hear that I got it all together, because trust me, I don't have it all together. I'm still trying to figure it out myself, if I'm being bluntly honest. Like right now, I'm in the midst. Like, I'm battling between, I love this, love it. But then I went and I ordered with some play money that I had. I'll show you. Where is it? I ordered with some play money that I had a traveler's notebook that I completely thought about doing a traveler's notebook at the start of this year before I ordered the rings. And this is not a true traveler's notebook. This is the Wanderings traveler's notebook version. And I ordered this from the Wanderings website. It took like 2 weeks to get here. And I kind of changed a few things because it didn't come with this. It came with something else. And yeah, I mean, I ordered this because I was thinking to myself, like, oh, this would be cool. I could literally bullet journal in this because it's like a slimmer version. So I could use these grid books to bullet journal. So I ordered these grid notebooks, and I was just like, yeah, I could totally like bullet journal in here, and I could do my bullet journal for one book, and my reading journal for another book, and my wellness for one book, and so on, like all my reference and stuff for another book. So I really considered this, like moving into this, maybe this would be a little bit better than my A5 very hard, heavy to carry Leuchtturm, which I absolutely love the Leuchtturm, so I don't know how that's going to work out. But anyway, I thought about this, and if I do decide to use this, you guys will be the first to know. But I don't know. I'm not sure what the heck is happening with that. But in terms of like me going back to my rings, so I decided that for the next months or so, I might go back to my rings, only because I really need this section right here. This health and wellness section is the section that I really need to be kind of set up and ready to go. So I found out that I was diabetic. Okay, so that is the reason why I basically feel the way that I feel in terms of health. And that explains a lot in how I've been feeling lately. So I got a bunch of stuff from Barnes and Nobles that I want to try to incorporate. So like I picked up this diabetes book which basically is like all the things that I need to know about diabetes. And they do give you this, but like I have such old handouts. But this was great because there's literally diets in the back from Mediterranean, and then the original Mayo Clinic diet, and then high protein. This is like a good, very good reference guide for someone who is struggling with this. So I picked this up, and I don't know. I really want to take my health a lot more serious these days. And so I picked that up, and then I also picked up this diabetes cookbook. And I don't know, I want to do better with my health. So I'm considering maybe going back to my rings specifically for my health and wellness section, because I already have these inserts and it is easier to keep up with versus just purchasing something else. I got a glucose chart in here, and then I have my fitness trackers in here, and then I also have these weight log trackers in here. Super helpful because I haven't tracked my weight at all for March. And then I got sleep trackers in here, and then goal trackers in here as well. So, or goal breakdown reviews in here as well. So there are some things in here that can be very useful to me for this time in my life. And I also have the blood sugar trackers as well. So I'm really considering this. Also some things that I really want, again, that I kind of really miss and that I didn't think I would miss so much is like these book trackers. Really missing this as well. It was just easier to keep up with the book tracker stuff. So I think that if I do move back into my rings, I think that I will knock out this fourth bundle, this fourth month, keep it with 3 months, so 1 quarter, add a note section, and work on the 2 sections that I use the most, which is like my health and wellness and then my book area. I think I will work on those sections. I did add, I archived a lot of stuff, and then I took out things that, I didn't need anymore. So yeah, I put in new trackers. So there's fresh new trackers in here. And then, what else? I added this in here, which is similar to like my ICDT method. This is like the work checklist, work task list. I don't know what this is called, but yeah, I printed this, and I'm thinking about maybe using this as well. But I have a lot of the things already for my rings, so this, I don't need to necessarily draw out anything. I could just literally move back into my rings. And then it's the perfect size. It's like, it's small, it's perfect, it's portable. I just need to slim it down. And yeah, if I could just stop being stubborn, slim some stuff down, this would work out beautiful. However, you guys will be the first to know all the changes that I make with this. See, I know it's too stuffed because I had a hard time pulling that up from being tucked under there. So yeah, I know it was kind of blah, and maybe it's not the video that most of you wanted to see, because I know most of you really enjoyed like the bullet journal, like me planning in a book bound planner the most. But I'm being real, I'm being honest. This is working. This works. And I'm not saying that I would necessarily give up on this. But I don't know. There are things that I find myself needing. I thought that this was going to solve all my problems. And, sometimes we make these adjustments where we do it and we find out that it didn't solve all our problems. So, life has a funny way at showing you things. So I don't know. We'll see. I have this I can play with. I don't necessarily know if I really, truly like these inserts. I don't know. It's been so long since I've used standard, like 5 years since I used standard. And I don't know. I don't know if I truly, really can see myself using these. I'll let you guys know though. You guys will be the first to know what the heck happens with all of this, what happens with this in general. You guys will be the first to know. So with that, I will leave you, my friends, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening, if it's evening, or Sunday day, if it's day, or morning, if it's morning. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next planner related video. Bye, loves.